to get a towel again. And if you happen to have a ball or a foam roller or even a beach towel or a bath towel just to prop your hips up a little bit, that would be good too. But we don't need any of that either. So totally your call. 4 more minutes here before we start. Or a band works as well instead of a towel. Is that John and Diane that's on there? Maybe. Today we're going to start on our back, lying on the mat. Just to remind you guys today to mute your microphones in the bottom left if you have not already done so. Looks like most of you are muted. And I was having this conversation with another client who typically joins us on Fridays, and she said, "Can you see me when I'm doing my exercises?" And I said, "No, I can't see you." So I wish I could see all of you. The club is actually talking about live streaming my mat class from the pool deck at the club. Once we get maybe like a partial opening, so that time where maybe the members and employees cannot go into the club, they're looking at putting up tents outside the club and putting reformers inside the tents so we can do privates there. And then for our mat classes, we'll be doing those on the pool deck, and they will be recorded live so that people who are not wanting to come into the club can still follow live at home. So that's good for all of you who aren't able to come to the club. And then I wanted you to also know that I've been doing a lot of privates on Zoom. So you always have that option to reach out to me, and we could do 30 minutes or 60 minutes if you want a private. So that seems to be working out actually really nicely. So it's actually easier than I thought it would be to train people so far away. So go ahead and start lying on your mat. We're going to get you warm and stretched out. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty darn tight. So lie down. We're going to warm your hips up first. So you're on your back, your feet are on the floor. And I want you to reach your arms long, expand your collarbone, expand your chest. If you have not gotten a band or a hand towel, please get one now. We'll use that later. All right, so I want you to put your hands like a diamond with your thumbs together and your pointer fingers together to make a diamond. And you're gonna put your thumbs on your navel and your fingertips on your pelvis. So your hands rest flat on your low abdominal muscles. So can you keep your hands here and draw your shoulders down your back and draw your bottom ribs down into the floor? Okay, so you're pulling down and in, funneling your side ribs down into your pockets, and you're pulling that area inside your diamond up and in. Okay, so we're gonna keep our hands on the diamond, keep your feet relaxed, knees are in line with your hips and your feet, and your collarbone and shoulders are down and wide. So I want you to think of pulling your fingers towards your thumb using your belly. So you should feel your pelvis pull up into your bottom ribs and then release. So it's easy to do this, to squeeze the glutes, to contract, to pull that up into your ribs. But I want you to keep your glutes and your abductors relaxed. And I want you to use just your low abs to pull up and relax. So curl up. You might even feel the bottom part of your glutes and pelvis lift a little bit because you're pulling your low abs in so much. And you should also feel some space start to happen. You're creating space in your lumbar spine, reaching that tailbone down and up, and then rolling back down with control. So almost feel like after each repetition, you're able to get a little more height and you're able to get a little more space through your vertebrae as you roll down. So this is a great exercise to do at home when you have an achy low back. This is nice. Okay, so you're sending that tailbone away, and I want you to pull your abdominals away from your hands and roll down. All right, now I want you to curl up a little higher and plug your vertebrae back into the mat. Just doing some bridge work to warm up that spine and your hips. Okay, this should feel good. Now send those arms long on the mat, reaching your fingertips long. You're gonna start to feel your glutes start to engage the higher that you take your hips, and that's okay. Okay, let's do one more, but this time I want you to curl all the way up into a bridge position. Hold this position. Now we're gonna pay attention to your ribs and your shoulders. So I want you to take your arms up to the ceiling, look straight ahead and press your arms down, squeezing your upper back. So we're holding the lift with our hamstrings and our glutes and our abs, of course, and we're raising our arms up to the ceiling only, so your hands are directly over your shoulders are anchored down, and you're pushing your arms down into the mat and you're pulling them back up. So while you do the motion with your arm bones, pull your waistband together, like you're cinching it together and tying it tight while you raise your arms. Okay, so now we're focusing on our rib cage. Okay, just adding layer after layer of focus. So we take our arms. If you need a break, you can roll down and come back up and join us. Take your arm bones all the way overhead, but keep those ribs down and take your arms back to your floor. All the way overhead and back up. Being mindful of those ribs staying down and in, and your shoulders staying down and relaxed. Okay, now this last one, your arms end up down to the mat. You roll your spine all the way down with a big exhale. Release your back, use your belly to curl back up. Hold this position, take your arms overhead, but now take your arms, drag your fingertips along the wall, the floor, out to the side, down to your hips. Right here, your palms are lifted up to the ceiling. Now take your arms overhead, dragging your fingertips over your head,
on the floor. The fingers stay on the floor the whole time. Keep your hips high, pull your abs in, and keep your shoulders down. So when you take your arms over your head, do not let your shoulders come up towards your ears. Keep your shoulders down. One more time. Take your arms overhead and back to your hips. Turn your palms to face the floor. Press your arm bones strong into the floor and roll your spine down with control. Take your legs up into tabletop, starting with our knee fold. So before you start, push your low back down into the floor. Take your right heel down to the mat and pull it back up. Left down to the mat and pull it back up. So starting with knee folds here, you're not going to let any space be created in between your mat and the low back. You're pulling your belly button down and in, and you're giving yourself an exhale as you lift the thigh bones back up. Take both legs down. Okay, you can choose to do just alternating legs if you need to warm up a little slower. So I want a big exhale as you pull the leg bones back up. You should feel those abdominal muscles work. You can go back into that diamond fingertips. Place your hands on your belly and feel the engagement, pulling in and up, pulling your waistband together, right? Cue that often. It's a good visual. You should feel your shoulder blades pressing down into the back and your thoracic spine connected to your mat. One more time here. Good. Hold your legs in tabletop. Take your arm bones down to the floor, but hovering off. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Curl up nice and high, like you're trying to get over your thoracic spine. And with control, try to bring your belly in more while you go down into the mat. Arms go overhead, back to the mat, but just hovering off the mat. Curl head, neck, and shoulders up, curling over your thoracic spine. Stay connected here. Breathe and begin your pumps for the 100. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Think of every time you're pumping your arm bones down into the mat, your body is curling up higher with each pump. Breathe. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can extend those legs to your working level today. If you want more stretch through your lumbar spine, have your legs straight up to the ceiling. Work on straightening those legs and curling up a little higher. You can begin to extend those legs longer to your working level as you breathe. Watch those legs. Curl up a little higher and bring your inner thighs together. Last 2 breaths. Last one. Straight legs come up, head goes down. Go into this stretch. If you have your band or your towel near you, grab it behind your soleus muscle, which is right underneath your calf muscles. And I want you to pull your legs towards you, stretching your lumbar spine. So you can let that tailbone come off, just to pull those legs, and you can curl your head up if you don't have any neck issues, just to go into that stretch. All right, now you're gonna take your hands behind your ears, fingertips behind your ears. Curl head, neck, and shoulders up, keeping your shoulders down. Send your right leg towards the floor, but hovering off. And pull the left leg up towards your head while you do that. And then switch legs. So you're reaching your leg away just as much as you're pulling your other leg towards you. And you switch with control. This is a slow movement. You can do this with your head down. You can do this with your hands underneath your hips. You choose what is the most comfortable for you. But it's work. It's supposed to be work through your powerhouse. Pull that leg bone towards you and curl up towards your leg bone. Good. One more on each side. Curl up towards that leg bone and pull that leg bone towards you. One more time. And lower down. Grab your band or your towel, or use your hands and pull your legs towards you for a stretch. All right, now take your arms out wide to a T. All right, you're taking your legs into tabletop. Make sure your knees are over your hips so that your knees are not closer towards your body. You want to keep them here, which is more challenging on your abdominal muscles. You're going to hold your heels together. Your knees can be a little bit apart. And we're going to take our right hip off the mat by pulling our legs over to one side, but keep your shoulders connected to the floor as you draw your legs up through center and over to the other side. Try to keep your head straight up towards the ceiling. Every time you bring your legs through center, try not to bring your knees closer towards your chest. Try to keep your legs right over your hips. Okay, you're starting to feel those obliques start to work, right? By now you should feel that powerhouse active and working and your body warm. You feel that blood flowing. Every exercise, you should feel the abdominal work, whether we're working arms, legs, back. One more on each side, only this time, hold the side, stretch, extend your top leg long, pull your knees together, pull your leg back in, up through center, watch the knees over the hips, take your legs over to the other side, keep your shoulders down, extend the top leg long, pull the top leg in, knees stay together, and come up through center. Let's do that one more time on each side. Send those legs over to the side, keep your knees together, extend the top leg long, slow work, pull it back in, feel those obliques. Lift those legs up through center and over to the other side. Extend that top leg, pull it back through center, and come all the way up. All right, we're gonna take our legs, our hands behind our ears. We're curling our head, neck, and shoulders up for footwork on the mat. So stay curled up here. You want to imagine you have like a mandarin orange between your chin and your chest. And if you have neck issues, you can come up into this connected position, rest your head on a towel, and still do the work. So we flex our feet, and we push our legs out and pull in for 5, 4, 3. Curl up over that bottom rib. Last one. Head down. Reach your arms long, legs go long, all the way up to 45. Hold. Take your arms behind your head. Curl back up. Point those toes. Pull the legs in. Point the toes. Reach and pull in. 3 more. 2. 1. Good. Lower the head. Reach the arms to the mat. Hold. Take your legs into a flexed position. We're going to hold our legs out in that long 45-degree position and point and flex our feet. So we extend our legs long, hold your belly in, take your arms wide to the side, grab behind your ears, curl up, point and flex your feet. Stay curled up. You can do this with your knees bent. You can do this with your head down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull in, rock your hips side to side. All right. I want you to take your legs long, and we're going to do a roll up. So press your hamstrings into the mat and curl your head, neck, and shoulders to roll all the way up over top of yourself and pull your ribs back in and roll down just halfway. So you're going to stay right here. Settle the shoulders down, pull your navel in, hold your position here. Point your feet and flex your feet. Point and flex. Pulling your belly in strong, keeping that rounded spine. Maybe don't go back as far. You choose. Maybe you go back a little further. Settle it down. Shoulders, belly pulls up and in. You're flexing and pointing your feet, all the while feeling your belly work, and roll back up. Grab behind your legs, stretch your head towards your legs. Look both ways, turning your head, stretching out your neck. I want you to now keep those legs straight. You can bend them if you need to. So you can be here if you need to. I want you to try to stay out of your hip flexors, which is why we're going to straighten our legs. So this time, you grab your band or your towel, take your arms closer than shoulder width apart. Sit up tall so you're lifting up out of your low back. All right, we're going to roll ourselves back down into that C curve. And now we keep our feet still and we pull the band apart and release. I don't think I need to double my band up. That was really hard. So you stay around it, you pull apart and you release. So if you have a hand towel, you're just tugging that hand towel and releasing it. You should still feel this in your back muscles if you're using a towel. You pull it apart, keep your belly rounded, keep your lumbar spine rounded, roll back a little further, or maybe not, you choose. Keep your shoulders down. Last 2, last 1, and we roll back with control. Of course, you can do that with nothing in your hands. We take our resistance. So if you have nothing in your hands, I want you to be very active. So if you try to move your hands or someone else came up and tried to move your arm bones, they wouldn't be able to. You have lots of energy in them. Now I want you to flex your feet. Okay, settle your arms down. I want you to hinge back with a flat back, taking your arm bones with you. Cinch your ribs together, cinch your hip bones together, and sit up tall. Good, so you're not arching your back, you're pulling your belly in with a flat back. Hinge back, lengthening through the crown of your spine and lifting up. I said that wrong, lengthening through the back of your head, right? Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, lift longer through your head. That does not mean lift your chin, right? There's a difference. This is the wrong way, coming up like this, right? Arching our back and lifting our chin. That didn't feel good. This is the right way. Shoulders down, looking straight ahead, sitting up nice and tall. Again, pulling your band, towel, or arm bones apart, creating tension as you're hinging back and coming up. Last one here. It's as if you're on the reformer. Now I want you to hold yourself back, find your rounded spine, hold, take your arms to the right, come back through center, roll up and over the bottom ribs first. Sit up tall, lengthen long spine, long, straight, flat back. Round your spine, find that C curve. Roll your spine over to the left. Curl your spine back to center and roll up. Sit up tall, find the length. Hinge back with a flat back. Pull your band, towel, or arms apart. Rotate to the right, shoulders stay down. Slow motion, pull your belly in more when you come to center. round up, sit up tall. Hinge back with a flat back. Pull on your band, towel, whatever you have in your hand, curl your spine, rotate to the left, come back to center, stay rounded, round over your bottom ribs first to come back up and sit up tall. Now take your knees bent, get rid of your band or towel, and pull into your thighs, creating an extension, and round your spine. This is similar to cat-cow, but can you do this keeping your shoulders down? So lift up through your chest, collarbone, and the crown of your head, and roll back. One thing to note is when you come up, I don't want you to crank your neck. I don't want you to collapse through the back. I want you to lift up through the crown of your head to create space through your neck as you go into that extension. All right, roll on to your belly. We're gonna do some prone work. So you're on your belly, your hands are underneath your shoulders, your legs are spaced hip width apart, and before you start, I want you to walk your hip bones away from your shoulders. So you're really pulling those hips away from your shoulders, and you're pulling your belly away from the floor. So there's a difference of letting your belly just fall down to the mat, and there's the difference of pulling the navel up away from the mat. And when you do that, you should feel your ribs pull up into your body. That's what I want. All right, so you're gonna lift up into extension, hold this, and lengthen through the crown of your spine as you come back down with your exhale. So it's an inhale as you lift, lift, lift. Exhale, lower and lengthen. Inhale, lift. You should feel belly, low back, maybe a little hamstring glutes. This time, if you have a healthy neck, look right, chin goes down around to the left, back to center, lengthen long to come back down. Inhale, lift and hold. Look left, chin down right, center, lengthen, lower back down. Lift up higher, look right, chin down around, a gentle press with your hands on the mat, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, hold, maybe higher. Look left, chin down around to the right, back to center, lengthen it down. Good. Take your hands underneath your forehead and place your forehead on the mat. So we're gonna really try to pull our ribs down away from our shoulders and keep our shoulder blades down. As you lift your arms off the floor, pull your belly in and lower down with control. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, hold, hold, lower. All right, here's your challenge. You can stay with this lift and hold and lower. For those of you who want more of a challenge, we're gonna lift, hold, take our arms out to a T, bring our arm bones in and lower down. Shoulders stay down the whole time. Inhale, lift. Pull the arm bones out, back to forehead, lower. Inhale, lift, extend, bend, lower. Don't creak your neck. Inhale, lift, look at the floor. Back in, lower. Hands under your shoulders. You can come onto elbows if you need to. Toes curl under, and you push your whole body in one piece up into a plank position. You can be on your knees or your elbows. I want your hands directly underneath your shoulders, and you hold your belly in a lifted up position. Holding this position, walk your feet in just a little closer so you can feel maybe your inner thighs touching. Okay, look at me. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling And then shift your body long, shoulders down into a flat plank position. Many of you are here, okay, with your hips slightly lifted. I want you in a long position here. If you can come to your knees. If you're on your knees, your hips are still in line with your body, okay? You choose. Now we lift our hips up, draw our heels towards the floor, pull your belly in, and lengthen long into that front pole support. Hold this position. Give me a big exhale, pull the belly in, and lift the hips up, up, up. Get that stretch through the back of the leg, and come right back into that front pole support. Hold, shoulders down, breathe. Inhale. On this exhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling. Use your belly to do that. Lengthen long one last time. Hold, shoulders down. Lift your right leg. Lower your right leg without moving your hips. Lift your left leg. Hold. Lower your left leg without moving your hips. 2 more on each side. Shoulders stay down. Belly pulls up. Lift your left leg. Don't move your hips while you switch legs. 1 more. Lift the right leg. Lower down. Lift the left leg. Lower down. Bend your knees. Sit back in a child's pose. While you're in child's pose, take your left arm and feed it underneath your right shoulder, looking underneath your right shoulder. Keeping your hips back and sending your right arm long and away. We're just stretching here. Switch sides, feeding the right arm under the left, head on the mat, shoulders down. Just stretching the other side, and come back into your lying prone position. Hands go underneath your forehead and lower your head onto your hands. Take your heels together, bending your knees. Shift your hips long away from your shoulders, and we bend our legs, lift our thighs off, extend our legs long and apart, lower the legs, bend the knees, lift the thighs, extend, lower, bend. Lift, extend, lower, bend. So that's phase 1. You can stay with phase 1. Otherwise, you're going to make this more challenging. Lift the thighs, lengthen the thighs, keep them lifted, bend the knees, squeeze your glutes and hamstrings, then lower down. That's harder. Works your glutes and hamstrings more. So we lift, extend, bend, and lower. So this would be more of an intermediate exercise. If you feel this pain in your low back, go back to just the bend and the lengthening. So pull your abs in. This is more advanced. So you choose which of the 3 you want, but this time when you lengthen the legs apart, you tap the heels together for 3, 2, 1. Hold the legs up, apart, bend the knees, lower the thighs. So you lift the legs, extend, tap the heels, 3, 2, 1, separate, bend, lower. You should feel your inner thighs incorporate now. In, lift, lengthen, tap, 3, 2, 1, apart, bend, lower. 1 more time. Lift, lengthen, tap, 2, 3, apart, bend, lower. Lower the legs, hands behind, under their shoulders, and push back into your child's pose. Rounding your back. All right, before we roll on to your belly, you're on all fours in a quadruped position. So your back is flat, you're rounding your neck, rounding your spine, come into neutral and extension, look and lift. Curl and round, look and lift. One more. Round, hold. All right, you're coming to your elbows. I want your spine to be long from the crown of your head to your tailbone, and I want you to keep your shoulders down. So when you're in this position, you should see a long neck still, right? Because your head is not lifting up. Okay. I want you to lift your right leg without shifting your hips. You're going to flex your foot, lift the leg without arching your back and without lifting this hip. Okay, it's easy to let that hip open and lift. You're going to keep your hip bones together. Hold the lift. Okay, let's call this your starting position. Extend the leg and bend the leg. Your hips should not move, right? It shouldn't be too hard here to stabilize your hips, but it's going to get more challenging, of course. So my arm bones are in a tripod position. And right now I'm feeling my glutes squeeze, and they're taking the work of lengthening that leg bone long and away with a flexed foot, pulling your heel in. I'm not letting my quad lower to the floor. I'm keeping it level and steady. Now I want you to hold your leg bone long, hold it and point the toe, and I want you to circle the leg 5 times the size of a softball, and then rotate the other way 5 times without shifting your hips. Right about now is when we start to sink into that supporting hip. Okay, take our leg down, sit back, come right back up, working the same leg. Find your long spine, extend your straight leg up, and we lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the lift. Take your leg away from your center line and back in, keeping your waistband long on that side. So think of your hip trying to pull further away from your shoulder without shifting your spine or torso. 3 more times out to the side and back. You're pulling your belly in the whole time. 1 more time out to the side and back, and we lower down, sit back. You should feel that glute and hip. Good. Now I want you to come onto that side. You're going into a side lying position. We're purposely going into side work here because you just worked that glute. So your bottom leg is down. That was your supporting leg. Hand or wrist is down onto the mat. Your top leg is lifted parallel. So your foot, knee, hip is in all one line. Okay? Think of pulling your hip bone into your elbow as you bicycle your leg in and around. So your hip bone and your elbow are connected. Okay? So you're bicycling. Pull that leg back without arching and pull through. Keeping your leg parallel to the floor. Keeping your bottom heel anchored and your shoulders down. I want you to keep that lift happening. And I also want your side body, the closest side that's to the ceiling, to stay as long as possible. Hold this leg now. Pull your straight leg all the way back behind you. Then pull your heel to your glutes and pull your leg through. Keeping your shoulder down. You don't need to watch your leg. Keep your eyes forward. This is a great time to watch the screen to make sure that you're in that proper alignment. Last one here. Now when we pull through, take your leg towards your bottom leg, slide it out, and lift that leg up. Bend the knee towards the shoulder, slide your leg through. This is great rehab for your hips. So work in a healthy range of motion that feels right for your body. This time hold, extend your leg up and pull through. Leg slides up, open, pull together. Can you do this and keep that top hip stacked over your bottom hip? Don't let that hip go backwards. Make it stay forward, connected to that elbow. And now take your top leg, hover it off the bottom, but face it forward, and then circle that leg, maybe the size of a basketball. Keep your neck long, shoulders down, belly in, reverse your leg. Up and around, up and around, up and around. Today's class is a little non-traditional compared to normal classes that I teach on Fridays. Okay, now I want you to take both legs together. By now you should be feeling it in that hip. I want you to lift from your powerhouse, both legs off the mat, get your neck longer. Scissor your legs, slow, and switch. And try not to move your hips as you switch and find length through each leg. And last one, we pull them together, lift and lower, lift and lower. Try to keep your legs together, lift and lower. Find length through the soles of your feet and not let your hips lift or twist back. Good, last one, lift and lower down. All right, you're gonna take your top ankle, grab onto it. For those of you who are not as flexible, take your top hand and grab the front of your ankle, and that might be better. A good option too is to take your towel and you can wrap that around your foot to give you that support. Okay, we're gonna lift your top leg off the floor, but I want you to turn your foot so that it's parallel to the floor, and I want you to push that top knee out. So you're holding your leg up and you're pushing your knee away from you, and you should feel this stretch through your piriformis muscle, which attaches the outside of your hip into your glutes. Most of us, that's really tight. Whew. Lower your leg, grab onto that ankle again, lift your leg again, but now sweep it back, hold it back there, just lift and lower it. Like you have a wall behind you and your heel is trying to stay connected to the wall behind you the whole time. Just lifting and lowering, and you should feel this through your inner thighs, which is your adductors on your bottom leg. Now take that top, bottom leg and circle it as wide as your mat. So I don't care how high you lift it, I care about how wide you bring it, and then reverse that circle. Lift up and around. For those of you with neck problems, by the way, you can lower your head down. And then we take our legs down and roll onto our belly, keeping our legs and thighs lifted. Keep your legs and thighs lifted. Roll onto your belly. Take your hands under your shoulders. If you have neck issues, put your hands on the floor and your forehead on your hands. Keep your thighs lifted the whole time. And then we tap our heels for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold them apart. And tap for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Shoulders stay down. Hold them apart. Last one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold them apart and lower down. Hands under your shoulders. Sit back into child's pose. Now we have to remember everything that we did on the other side. Roll your spine up, curling your tailbone under you. Come into that cat position where you're rounding and lifting that spine. You can stretch your hips from one side to the other side. And then we come up to do the other side. All right, so you're first on all four, right? All right, I'm gonna do my best to remember what we did on the other side. All right, so you're gonna hold your leg in a bent position with your thigh parallel to the floor, eyes between your hands, shoulders down with a flexed foot. We extend that leg long behind you and pull your heel in, keeping your belly lifted up and in the whole time. You should feel this in your hamstrings and your glutes. On the other side. So right here is a great time to check out how that other hip is. Make sure that your hip is directly underneath over your knee and not shifted out to the side. So we hold our leg up and lift and lower. Flexed foot. Just lift and lower. Okay, feeling that a little more through that hamstring and glutes. And try not to shift your hips. And pull that leg straight and long with a pointed toe. Lift your heart further away from the floor and your shoulders down. And now with a straight leg, lift and lower without arching your back. Lift and lower. Think of cinching your hip bones together while you're here. And 5 circles one way. Circle that foot the size of a softball. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the leg and extend. I think we maybe did this one already. That's okay. It's okay. All right. Lower your leg down. Did we get that on? I think so. We're going to lie onto that side. Okay, you're going to hold yourself in that lifted position. Anchor the bottom leg down. Bring the top leg bent. I know I'm forgetting something. So we're bicycling that leg. Make sure your knee and your foot are the same height as your hip. As you circle that leg, sweep all the way back without arching your back. How far can you extend your leg behind your body before you arch? So pull your abs in while you're here. You're connecting your hip into your elbow on the top side. And you're keeping the top waist long, trying to keep that hip down away from your shoulder. Now reverse that. So straight leg, pull that thigh through without arching the back. Bend, extend, and pull through. Pull your belly in strong away from your forearm. You can have that hand bent or flexed. It's a good thing to flex your wrist so that you maintain your wrist range of motion as we age. You watch old people who have not moved, their wrists end up not being able to bend and their fingers curl, right? So now lift both legs up. Slowly scissor each leg. Slow, open, scissor, and that was ugly on me. Switch and switch. Keep your belly in and up. Keep your hips pulled together. And switch and switch and switch. Bring your legs together. Keep them lifted. Lift both legs and lower. So you might notice, like I do, that it's harder on one side than the other side, and that is absolutely normal. Pull your waistband to lift your legs. Inner thighs stay together. One more. I know I get to talking and then I lose count. Okay, so, now we lift the leg, bend, and extend. You can do these exercises every day on your own, by the way. Unlike weightlifting, Pilates exercises you can do every day. Keep your spine long while you do this. Try to get your leg to reverse and extend before you reach long without collapsing through your side body. Okay, so I don't want you to dump through that side. I want you to keep it long the whole time. Good. Now I want you to take that leg and you're going to grab that ankle. Place it down. Remember, you can grab in front or you can wrap a towel behind that leg. Open your chest, open your collarbone. Flex your foot. Take it to the back side of your mat and lift and lower. Lift and lower. I see in the video that you can barely see my foot. So I really have to get my leg to the very back side of my mat in order for you to see my foot in the computer screen. Push your head into your hands so that you feel your body as long as you can make it. Now hold your leg up and circle it as wide as your mat. Circle out, up, and around. Use that inner thigh coming from your hip, not coming from just above your knee in your inner thigh. There's a difference. Reverse your leg. Circle up. Okay, as if you're trying to touch that wall behind you with your heel every time you circle it up, back, and around. Lower your legs down together. Lift both legs up. Bring your body to your belly, but keep your thighs lifted. Separate your legs and extend your arms long and away from you. Hold yourself in this position, shoulders down. Lift your right leg higher, left arm higher, and lower. And we switch and lower. And we switch and lower. Lift, switch, lower. Lift, switch, lower. Last one. And come into your child's pose position. All right, we're gonna come into a little rotation, facing the same way you started, but now you're gonna grab your towel or your band. Okay, we're gonna roll ourselves back. You can keep your towel here, or you can keep your towel or band under you. You choose what position. Your shoulders can stay in the most relaxed position at all times. Rounding your spine, you can also keep your hands on the mat. You're gonna lift your knees and lower your heels, maybe not quite to the floor, and pull them back up. Lower, keep your back rounded. Exhale, lift. Lower, exhale, lift. Lower, exhale, lift. Pull your belly in. Lower, exhale, lift. Last two, exhale, lift. Shoulders down, pull in, lift, and lower. All right, I want to combine the roll up and the roll over. So I know that we did the roll up, but we didn't focus a lot of time on it today. So we're gonna keep our arms and legs parallel to the floor. Roll yourself over your toes to get that stretch. Pull your belly away from your feet and roll yourself down with shoulders down. When your arms press the mat, you're gonna lift your legs and you lift your hips overhead. But if you have neck issues, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna lift your legs, lower your legs back to the floor, and roll yourself all the way back up, taking your legs into that stretch. And again, I just showed you the beginner position. You stop with your legs here and lower down. Otherwise, you extend all the way overhead, separate the legs, you roll down with control, and bring the legs all the way to the floor together for your roll up. Arms overhead, roll yourself all the way up. I need to practice my roll up more. Settle those shoulders down. Slide your arms past your hips, lift your legs all the way overhead, separate the legs and roll down with control. Again, if you have a tight back, this is a great exercise to practice on your own. Just make sure that you don't turn your head when you take your legs overhead. All right, last one. You're gonna stop with the roll up. All right, turn yourself to the side. Gosh, that time always goes by so fast. Okay, so from here, I want you to stay lifted on both sides of your body so that you're not collapsing through that bottom side. Okay, I want you to take your feet so that your foot can be next to your thigh, and you can open this leg if you need to. So you're gonna stay lifted here, and I want you to open this knee and close this knee, ultimately without putting your hands on the floor. So we're working that hip to lift without collapsing and lowering. So stay tall, and come back. Good, okay? Now, you're gonna extend your arms, shoulders down, and come into your mermaid stretch. Curl up and over, and come back, grab your ankle, and pull yourself into that stretch, okay? You can take your feet together, legs together if you choose. Curl up and over, and extend. We're gonna end today's class with the abdominal series. So stay with me to the end here if you can, coming up into advanced mermaids. So we plant our top leg down. We wrap our bottom foot around the top leg. Put your hand so it's underneath your shoulder, and we lift our whole body up into an arc position, and we lower back down with control. I'm realizing I need to move to see. Okay, so we lift up with control, pull your inner thighs together, look down, bend your knees, lower your hips, and lift back up. Lift and lower. Bend your knees and lift. Look down at the mat and lower with control. Last one. Lift. Pull your inner thighs together and lower down with control. We grab onto our ankles and pull into that stretch. And this time when you're stretching, rotate the other way, pulling your opposite shoulder towards your opposite knee, and pull into that deep stretch, okay? Pull your hands behind you, bending your elbows, and we can from one side to the other, not moving our chest. Switch, switch, switch. Try to keep your knees together. You're not rocking. You're not using momentum. You're using your belly to lift your legs up and over. And this time, we end with our legs the other way. This time, foot goes next to the thigh, leg, shin bone goes straight back. We take our hands to the floor and we lift that knee and lower the knee without collapsing through your side body. You guys are gonna get a lot more of this kind of exercise in the months to come as I go through some more advanced training. It'll be so fun to introduce you to some of this stuff. So I know some of you are struggling like I am with your hips. This will all be really good stuff. Stack your hips and come into that mermaid stretch. And then come up over to the other side. Lift your side body. Shoulders stay down as you come through center over to the other side. Everyone tends to, at some point, pull your head forward. So right when you, even when you stretch, pull your head back, back, back. Even on this side, pull your head back. Good. So notice when I pull my head back, I'm not lifting my chin. I'm just pulling my upper back, shoulders, and the back of my head back. Okay, now we rotate and pull into that stretch. Pull your sits bone down. Take your top leg on the mat and your bottom leg wraps around that foot. Hand goes under the shoulder and you lift up, pulling your inner thighs together. Bend your knees, lower your hips and lift back up. lower, and lift. We have just enough time to do that ab series, and lift, and lower. Okay, we take our legs back to where we started. In for our ab series, yay! So we grab our right foot and we pull it into our body. Extend the left leg long. You choose how high. Roll down onto your back, stay curled up. Single leg stretch. Here we go. Pull, pull, switch. Pull, pull, switch. Try not to move your upper body. Stretch the leg. As you pull it in, and you're kind of pulling your foot out a little bit as you pull it in, and pull in, and pull in, and pull for 2 and 1. Bring both legs in, double leg stretch, send your arms and legs away, and pull in. Stay curled up, and pull in. Extend, wrap around. Inhale, out, exhale, in. Stay curled up for 2. Inhale, exhale. Single leg, straight leg stretch. Pull, pull, switch. Pull, pull, switch. Send the leg away. Keep your waistbands long and your side bodies long. And stay curled up. Breathe. 4, 3, 2. Both legs come up. Hand over hand behind your head. Lower the legs. Exhale and lift. Maybe you only lower the legs a little bit. And lift. And you lower and lift. Curl up. Lower. Exhale, lift. Elbows wide. 2 more. Last one. Crisscross. Elbow to knee. Look back at your elbow and switch. And switch. Like you're wringing your torso out. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Lift up as you switch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab your knees and lower your head. Whew, good job. Rock your hips side to side. That always feels like a big accomplishment every time I do that ab series. Lift your legs up. Reach your arms long. Lower your legs just a little. And lift your leg bones back up with a big exhale. And we're going to lower a little further. Keep your belly pulled in a little further. Exhale and lift. You have 2 more. Each one gets a little lower. You can put your hands underneath your hips if you need that support. Exhale, lift. I lied. 2 more right here. Lower, 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 lower. Exhale, lift. This last one, here's your treat. Control it all the way down. And once you're down there, slowly lower your legs all the way down. Stretch your arms all the way overhead. Breathe. Very nice job, you guys. Doesn't this long stretch feel good? I want you to take your right leg to the ceiling and stretch it towards me. Take your arms wide to the side. And then pull your knee into your chest, grab onto it, and pull it in towards you. And you can look back towards your back arm on the floor, trying to get your back shoulder down. Straighten your top leg again. And then lift your leg over to the center. Lower that leg down. Lift the other leg up. Extend that leg to the side. Your hip comes off. Shoulder tries to stay down. Hold that stretch. Look back the opposite way. And you wrap your arm under the knee and pull in. Feeling that stretch through your low back and hips. Take your legs straight again. Pull your leg back up to the center and lower your leg down. Bring both knees bent towards your screen. Take your hand on the floor and walk yourself up. All right, I want you to sit up tall. Just give me a big inhale. And exhale, stay tall. Inhale, keep your shoulders down. On your exhale, grow taller. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Grab your hands behind your mat. Give yourself a gentle push as you reach the crown of your head with a flat back forward. And walk your hands to the front and round your spine. Take your chin to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Sit up tall, roll your shoulders, roll them forward. Without pulling on your head, just rest your hand on your head, wrapping your fingers so they touch the ear. Don't pull on your neck. Keep that shoulder down. Your heavy hand is resting on your head, and you use your neck muscles to turn to that way. My hand is still just resting on my head, but I feel a lovely stretch through that other side. If it hurts, don't do it. Stay lifted up through your belly. Now release your hand, but leave your head there. Roll your chin forward towards your chest, over to the other side, and back up to center. Stay tall. Rest your hand to your head, taking your fingertips to touch your ear. Relax your shoulder down. That takes the pull of that arm bone on the head away. And you pull that head over, using your head and neck to do it, not your arm to do it. And you feel that stretch through the other side. Lift up through your belly. Take your hand away, but leave your head there. Roll your chin from one shoulder over to the other shoulder with your chin down the whole time, and you're sitting up tall through your belly. And then we lift our head back up. One more big breath. Inhale. Exhale. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Thank you again for joining me. If you need to reach out to me, you can reach out on our Facebook page. You can also reach out to me at my email, which is Dawn, DAWNH, @clubgreenwood.com. So if you have any interest in any virtual training, 30, 60-minute sessions, we can focus on any issues that you have. Otherwise, have a great day. We'll see you next Friday with the same login, same everything. Thank you, Paulette. I see you. Bye, Holly. Bye, Shannon. Thank you, Betsy, for joining. Bye, John and Diane. Have a good weekend.